Tyson knows he's got him in big trouble. If he doesn't answer it and has stopped the fight, it's all over. Michael Tyson wins on a 5th round TKO.
Was at the peak of his powers during this period, steamrolling world champions like they were journeyman fodder stepping in for a quick paycheck. Yet, while Tyson grabbed the headline for his might as a concussive knockout artist.
It's the peak time to beat a Mike Tyson, Harry. No, I really do believe so.
Frank Bruno was a mountain of a man, physically imposing but often branded as one-dimensional due to being a big puncher that looked out of ideas and more notably out of gas once the famed right hand had withered after the opening rounds. However, on his best night, he could put his work together very nicely, something his most cultivated opponents, including Mike Tyson, would attest to once the dust was settled.
How was he punching? Was it hurting him?
He punches like a f***ing meal kit. Oh my God.
Here comes Mike, spikes in. He leads to the right hand. Down he goes. I don't think you'll get up from this.
After Tyson's first-round annihilation job over the recognized lineal champion Michael Spinks, the Brooklyn Bomber was at his peak of notoriety amongst global audiences.
Mike Tyson. We'll be back right after this.
At just 21 years of age, he was a remarkably well-honed talent that turned a meritorious heavyweight division on its head. A destructive knockout machine who racked up impressive victories using his intelligence and boxing IQ beyond his years to clear out almost every top-rated heavyweight on his route to undisputed.
I knew when I came to this fight, I was the best fighter in the world, and not a man alive that can beat me.
In the ring, it was perfect, faultless. But the pressure of such copious success, with his long-term trainer and mentor Customato no longer around to guide him, became all too much to handle as the chinks in the iron armor were magnified by a select group Mike had started to abhor even more than his rivals in the ring, the press. While the trip proved to be a good form of escapism, it was actually all business from Tyson's end. He was here to weigh up his next opponent, Frank Bruno, a darling of the nation and a credible contender for his throne.
Now you saw Frank Bruno today. Is he in good shape?
He looks in great shape.
Does he?
Despite suffering a couple of setbacks during his career, Frank Bruno was one of the hardest punchers in world boxing, verified by his striking 97% knockout rate. Built like a man that looked set for the bodybuilding stage, but deadly with a pair of gloves on, his physique was his biggest selling point, but also his most significant detriment. After a few rounds of fighting, the lactic acid buildup made it arduous for him to even lift his arms up, let alone put the shots together required to compete against sterner tests in the division.
I've been training for a long time. Mentally, I feel very, very strong. Physically, I feel very strong. I need to polish up on a few little things, and you know, I've got an animal coming in at me, but I'm very confident because I've been in with that animal before, Harry. And that's no bull.
Nevertheless, while most of the Brits were willing to accept Tyson for who he was as a fighter alone, Bruno paid close attention to the drama in his life and used the unhinged narrative to fuel his motivation of further cracking what appeared to be chinks in the armor.
And I know him, and I'm not going to get into that sort of like bandwagon, like, oh, Tyson this, Iron Mike this, Iron that. You don't realise that the guy had a car crash, he damaged his hand, he broke up with his wife. All his mind is not on the game. On this fight, his mind not conditioned for this fight, and I was confident before all this happened, and I think this is a peak time to beat a Mike Tyson, Harry. No, I really do believe so.
The Tyson-Bruno sit-down face-off was fascinating, as the boxing world realized that even though these two were preparing to rip each other's heads off, there was an underlying respect that's very rare in sports competition, let alone prize fighting. The respect was evident for all to see, but under lights, between a roaring crowd, it's survival of the fittest. Friendships are irrelevant when competing in the loneliest sport in the world.
Mike is giving away 3.5 inches in height. He's giving away 10 pounds in weight. He's 5 years younger, and he's giving up 11 inches in reach.
Tyson met Bruno for the first time on February 25, 1989 at the Hilton Center in Las Vegas. Bruno brought an impressive 5,000 fans over to America, which made the fight feel more like it was taking place on neutral territory, which is absurd given the pulling power from Tyson, but a testament to the die-hard British fans that offered the utmost support, despite the fact their man was an 8-1 underdog going into the Lions.
He has the same disadvantage as a lion going against a zebra, and I'd have to agree. Let's see how quick he starts. Bruno tries to keep him off. Bruno showing that he's not afraid, hanging on. Bruno's already tagged the right hand, and there goes Bruno for the first time fight. The first right hand that got him, he was down.
A nervous breakdown? Caught cold? Call it what you will. Tyson came out and attempted to score the quickest KO in heavyweight championship history as Bruno was stunned by the speed of Tyson's right hand.
If ever there was a guy fighting like a raging bull, it's Mike Tyson. He gets tagged again by a right hand. He's trying to hang on to Mike and hit. Tyson hit with a light left hand. Doesn't do anything to him. Tyson back up bouncing. Well, all the questions about distractions have been answered as Tyson attacks. I don't think points will mean anything by the time this fight's over. Now Frank comes very slowly across the ring. He knows he's in with a book. Tyson gets nailed with a left hook. Tyson looks wobbly as he attacks Bruno. Bruno continues to throw. Tyson was caught and wobbled. A bell ends, round number 1, and the crowd loves it.
The bell came at a good time for Tyson as he was, by the horse's mouth, in the most trouble of his entire career. But once again, Bruno put a lot of effort into that barrage, which inevitably slowed him down as the fight continued.
Right hand catches Bruno. Left hook. Bruno looks ready to go. Now is when he's going to hang on. And he does. Round 3 is an important round. In such magnificent shape. Tyson, lightning hands. It's a question of time before Mike catches him. Bruno at no stage inside is going to give Tyson both hands free. They continue to fight after the bell.
By the end of the 4th, Tyson was fed up with Bruno's grabbing and mauling, so he decided to rally up a vicious assault to try and close the show as soon as possible.
Terry Lawless and George Francis the keys. Tyson just really pours in like a madman almost. Frank has got to start throwing that right hand. Bruno is caught by a right hand and a left hook. Bruno comes back and catches Tyson. Vicious body shot. Light. Ooh, another right hand gets through. He had the hit notes out. Bruno is caught that time, and Tyson knows it. Tyson trying to attack now to finish him off. Tyson gives him room to come off the ropes. Scores with the uppercut. Lands a big right hand. Bruno's in big trouble now. He's ready to go. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell as the big right hand lands. Tyson knows he's got him in big trouble. If he doesn't answer it, Richard Steele has moved in and has stopped the fight. It's all over. Michael Tyson wins on a 5th round TKO.
Bruno showed a good chin and fighting heart to stay on his feet, but the referee made the right decision as the big Brit was incapable of defending himself against Tyson's ferocious uppercuts and hooks.
Mike, another one on your belt, another notch. Was this harder than you anticipated?
No, not at all, because I knew that he was going to come up. He was talking, and the way he was talking, I knew he was hyped. He was ready to go, and I knew I was the best fighter in the world.
Tyson showed his respect once more, for not only Bruno as a friend, but now as a fighter, as for a brief moment he came closer than any man before him in doing what many boxing fans thought impossible.
Were you then surprised that he came back and he seemed to hit you with a pretty good left in that round?
He got up. He meant business after, oh man.
Bruno would go on to have many big nights in his career, including his infamous showdown with fellow Brit Lennox Lewis, where many would argue, including myself, we saw the true potential of what Frank can be, a world beater. And he would later go on to prove that by becoming a world champion in 1995, defeating the Atomic Bull Oliver McCall over the distance in a decent display.
In favor of the winner and new
Walk the walk.
Tyson met Tucker on August 1st, 1987 at the Hilton Resort in Las Vegas. Tucker seemed loose and relaxed during the introductions, with the aura of a man confident in showing the world what TNT was all about.
He needs to tie his man up, try to frustrate Mike Tyson. But is he strong enough to do that? Well, that was a good right hand by Tucker. That might have been the best shot that Mike Tyson has ever taken right there.
For the first time in his career, Tyson looked human, as Tucker lured him into a well-timed uppercut that momentarily took his legs away.
Tucker said when we talked to him, he said, I'm not worried about what he's going to do to me, I'm worried about what I'm going to do to him. That's confidence. Another right hand. He was an amateur. You know what's happening? Every time Mike reaches in, Tony comes with the right hand. Again, a right hand, but he took a right from Tyson. And another big right by Mike Tyson.
Tyson finished the first strong, but Tucker was the clear winner, disrupting Mike's rhythm with his movement and jab.
Well, Tony Tucker is a 10-1 underdog. He wasn't 10-1 in that round. He's putting 3-4 punches together. And he's following up with left uppercut, left hook. body shot by Tyson. That was a good example. He really wants to frustrate Mike Tyson as a referee. No nonsense guy. There was a good right hand again by Tucker. In close, catching Tyson on the way in.
By the end of the fourth, Tucker was ahead on points, but you could tell Tyson's strategy of slowing him down with power punches to the midsection was starting to take effect.
Tucker. There was a big left hand by Tyson, and that was the one big punch. What a good shot. And Tyson with another left hand. A lead off right. There was a right hand in close by Tyson.
Change up just a little bit, you understand? More jabs, bad intentions. Go to point with bad intentions.
Keep on pushing your man off. And there was a big right hand. Tucker says, no, I'm not hurt. I've always found that to mean I'm hurt. That right hand.
Tucker tried to get in Tyson's head with some provocative antics in the mid-rounds, which is usually a sign that a fighter is either hurt or out of ideas.
About Tyson, or rather Tucker's right hand. That there was a big left hand, but again Tucker shakes his head. Tyson's getting off quicker with his jab now. Good, short, strong. Now it appears the instinct for self-preservation has kicked in.
As the championship rounds approached, Tyson started boxing a more intelligent fight, creating openings off the jab, which was something he did superbly when necessary.
Will get closer to the taller man, Tucker, and then he can throw his punches. Once again, though, you see what's happening here. The reason there's frustration is because of what Tucker's doing. He's tying his man up. Those are the antics there. Sometimes work. Tucker seems to be fighting the kind of fight that he thinks he's winning. That was a big left hand. Tyson finishing with a flourish. And so is Tucker. It's over. Well, Tony Tucker talked the talk and walked the walk.
The final round was close, but a big left hook from Tyson toward the closing seconds was the highlighting moment for the judges.
There's an old saying in boxing, you never know how good an unbeaten fighter is. And an unbeaten fighter is hard to beat because he doesn't know that he can be beat. And that's how Tucker fought tonight.
Tyson was awarded a close unanimous decision and relayed the fight's difficulty during his post-fight interview.
But just wasn't together today, and he was very intimidating. It was very tough.
Was he a better fighter than you thought?
It was very hard to tell because he did a great deal of holding. He threw very fast punches. It was true.
And he really rocked you in the first round.
Yes, he did. He was a very hard puncher.
I figured they was going to give it to him anyway, but I still thought I beat him. But that's okay. The world knows Tony Tucker is here. I'm for
one marked the first time in the modern boxing era that two undefeated heavyweights met in a championship fight.
Frazier's coming in wide open. Wide open.
Ali versus Frazier would have been a blockbuster event regardless of their fight records. Still, the intrigue and mystery that an unbeaten clash offers is a unique and rare experience that grew exponentially in the hearts of fans as the decades passed.
Mohammed is the greatest fighter ever lived. He should be put down in history.
Ali's just a rope bender. All he did was lay up against the rope like he was in a cradle.
By the time Tyson rose to prominence, unbeaten clashes were all the craze, which began the modern formula in how we see fighters progress to title contention today. Fighting journeymen and has-beens in the hopes their records, as opposed to their skill set, will one day translate into lucrative prize fights.
Tony Tucker, on the other hand, and since turning professional 6 years ago, has compiled over 20 professional fights, but no one's ever heard of